are the arteries for powering electricity. When the artery is burst, then the entire system collapses. Vandalizing gas pipelines is a criminal offense against the Nigerian people. Let us join hands and protect our gas pipelines from the enemies of Nigeria. Report any suspected vandal to the security operatives. Let us stop vandals before they destroy our collective national heritage, so we can have the Nigeria of our dreams, where there will be light at all times. This message is brought to you by the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA.
The finals of the Men and Women African Cup of Nations. It's always frenetic. On days such as this, there are no tribes, no religion. Here, Nigerian warriors are out to represent, to show the skills that makes us the best. On days like this, the color is one. The color is green. When we get the job done, it is because we have stuck together. When we celebrate, we stand together. Nigerians, united in victory. We are Nigerians. We are one.
My greatest desire is that Nigeria moves from import dependence to self-sufficiency in local production.
An exhortation to citizens for what is at home. Judiciary goes for special session over colleagues under watch on fraud charges. And Navy berths in Chad Basin for stronger sighting of borders. Good evening. Thanks for joining us on NTA Network News. I'm Cyril Stover. Critical issues relating to made in Nigeria products for sustainable economic growth and development take center stage as the 2016 Nigeria Economic Summit gets underway in Abuja. President Muhammadu Buhari, who declared the summit open, emphasized that Made in Nigeria is at the heart of his administration's efforts at taking Nigeria out of troubled times and laying a firm foundation for the future. State House correspondent Adam Sambu reports.
The key thrust of this summit, 22nd in its series, is to galvanize support from stakeholders on the need to commit to the structural and fiscal changes required towards strengthening the Nigerian economy through Made in Nigeria products. President Muhammadu Buhari at the opening said, never again will Nigeria be allowed to rely on one commodity to survive as a country, hence the commitment of his administration to economic diversification. And this, he said, can only be achieved if the nation's economic foundation is built on Made in Nigeria goods and services.
My greatest desire is that Nigeria moves from import dependence to self-sufficiency in local production and become an export-led economy in goods and services. I strongly believe that this summit will bring all stakeholders on board to stay on that course. Fortunately, we have champions of Made in Nigeria that have defied the odds to produce locally and contribute to our economy.
He therefore challenged participants to make realistic and enforceable recommendations on policies, initiatives, and incentives that will, among others, encourage more local production, improve quality and standards, promote exports, and change public attitude and behaviors to Made in Nigeria products and services. In a keynote presentation, Dr. Adedoyin Salami of the Nigeria Economic Summit Group spoke at length on the state of the Nigerian economy, commending the Buhari administration for its commitment to fiscal discipline, transparency, accountability, and blocking of revenue leakages, but said a lot still needs to be done for sustainable economic growth and development.
There are roadmaps. These roadmaps need to be brought together, articulated, joined together into a development plan that the private sector can understand and take its lead from. Whether we like it or not, that is an imperative that must be achieved before the end of this year.
Both the chairman of the Nigeria Economic Summit Group, Kyari Bukar, and the Minister of Budget and National Planning, Udoma, explained that the summit is expected to come up with a practical roadmap that will contextualize Made in Nigeria as an economic growth and development strategy for the country.
We are not under any delusions to the inherent challenges of Made in Nigeria. We are, however, of the firm belief that there is no better time than now to have a coherent conversation on further diversification of the economy through the promotion of Made in Nigeria products and services.
We do concede that it is the private sector that is the true engine of growth. Those of us in government expect to see that engine firing on all cylinders. Those of you who heed this and invest more aggressively in Nigeria, I'm confident that the returns you make will more than justify your investments.
President Muhammadu Buhari later undertook a guided tour of exhibition stands and briefed on Made in Nigeria products and services. The summit, which will last 3 days, is organized by the Nigeria Economic Summit Group and the Ministry of Budget and National Planning. In Abuja, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
And for more on the Nigeria Economic Summit, the Policy Roundtable, which featured Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, along with ministers, outlined efforts geared towards making the Nigerian economy viable and spurring recovery in the short and medium terms. The details with Leah Katun Babatunde.
The Nigerian economy has recorded an array of negative indices in recent time, from balance of trade deficiency, negative capital flows, pressure on the naira and depleting foreign reserves owing largely to a global fall in oil prices, which constitute the bulk of Nigeria's revenue source as well as foreign exchange. The policy dialogue focused on reduction of cost of governance, improving security and accountability, recovery and managing loots, entrenching the Made in Nigeria ideals, as well as healthy and competitive environment for doing business.
It's very possible that we're not doing enough. Perhaps we could do more. But I think in particular, the choice of agriculture is one where I think a lot of communication has been.
Commitments this government made, at least as it relates to my ministry as well as to the economy in general, is the recognition that we have to crack this issue of enabling environment and ease of doing business. And that we have to crack it systematically and institutionally.
Growing SMEs, rising debt profile and practical engagement of industries are other areas the policymakers agree need urgent attention.
I've heard the message, and we are going to much more aggressively put out what we're doing, because this government is committed.
The summit is a platform for promoting public-private sector dialogue towards accelerated national development. In Abuja, Leah Katun Babatunde, NTA News.
The federal government has solicited the support of Germany in capacity building, intelligence sharing and provision of sophisticated equipment to the Nigerian Navy towards curbing the menace of oil theft in the Niger Delta region. President Muhammadu Buhari made the requests at an audience with the visiting German Foreign Minister, Dr. Frank Walters Steinmeier. State House correspondent Adamu Sambu reports.
Mr. President. You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you for receiving us.
President Muhammadu Buhari said vandalism of critical oil installations and theft of the products through the Gulf of Guinea is a serious form of insecurity that reared its head in the country after the defeat of Boko Haram. He said the objective of the militants who carry out this sophisticated sabotage using skills they had gained from trainings either by government or the oil companies is to colonize the country economically. The situation, he said, is further compounded by the fact that the militants had no central command to deal with, as some of them are mere extortionists. The president said adequate training and equipping of the Nigerian Navy by Germany will go a long way towards containing the situation. He said the federal government is making efforts to understand the real agitators and engage with them so that confidence can be restored in the region. The German Foreign Minister, Dr. Frank Walters, expressed the willingness of his country to lend a helping hand in resolving the Niger Delta crisis and expressed satisfaction with the successes recorded in the fight against insurgency and terrorism in the northeast. Germany, he also said, supports President Muhammadu Buhari's anti-corruption war and is desirous of investing in renewable energy, gas exploration and mining towards boosting Nigeria's economy. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Well, of course, the Nigerian Navy says it has commenced deployment of personnel and equipment to the Lake Chad Basin. Chief of Naval Staff Vice Admiral Ibokete Ibas stated this at the launch of his second strategic directive for the Nigerian Navy, noting that the establishment of an outpost there signals a quest to protect Nigeria's maritime interests in the region. Defense correspondent Isaac Nkuma reports.
It is a document to guide the attainment of goals in areas critical to operational, logistics and administrative processes and procedures. Appraising the first strategic directive, which was promulgated in August 2015, the Chief of Policy and Plans, Rear Admiral Jacob Ajani, and the Chief of Naval Transformation, Rear Admiral Raphael Osondo, say some modest achievements were recorded in its short, medium and long-term implementation plan in operations, fleet renewal, logistics and infrastructural development, as well as human resource management and administration. Top on the list is the sustained presence of the Nigerian Navy on the sea, which they say has drastically reduced crude oil theft and illegal bunkering. Others include the local construction of the second seaward defense boat, NNS Karadua, and tugboat Commander Ugu, with others undergoing various refit and repair works.
These efforts, no doubt, were geared towards emplacement of capacity capable of imposing needed dominance and credible governance of our maritime space.
Operating alongside the Nigerian Army and the Air Force in counter-terrorism operations in the northeast, the Chief of Naval Staff said movement of her personnel to the Lake Chad Basin has commenced.
The presence of the naval outpost is not just for the sake of containing the terrorist threat out there. So strategically, for economic value, as well as the defense and security of our country.
In the meantime, he revealed that the Navy Admiralty University, Buzo in Delta State, has been completed and awaiting the federal government's approval for academic activities to commence. In Abuja, Isaac Nkuma, NTA News.
And on other security issues, River State Amnesty Program for repentant members of cults and kidnappers recorded a high arms cache when a prominent cult leader, Igwe Dibia Johnson, popularly known as Don Woni, led over 5,000 members of cults of aggrieved Orashi youths to embrace the program at Omoku. Ike Chukundukwe reports.
Omoko communities have been in the news on issues related to cult killings and clashes, leading to many fleeing the area and commercial activities brought to a halt. The news of granting amnesty to General Donwani attracted a large crowd, including traditional rulers. Donwani, while handing over his weapons, says the armed struggle is because of long neglect of the area by government and oil companies, calling on the state government to empower youths and improve infrastructure in the area.
Excellency, the governor, and that he has accepted the olive branch and will go further to ensure the successful implementation of the amnesty program.
At the new road in Ariario, whether Greenland also, they Bamo, any thought to are forgiving them. Let them come and lay down their hands, let there be peace in Onega. I stand and you.
Donwani submitted 23 AK-47, 1 launcher, several dynamites, 2 MPG, 1 G3, and dozens of military uniforms, among others. The weapon submitted in Omok is the highest recorded in the amnesty tour in River State. In Port Harcourt, Ikechukwu Ndukwe, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari has sustained his determination to reduce the presidential air fleet with another release of 2 aircraft to the Nigerian Air Force. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa was at the presidential wing of the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, for the handover ceremony.
The hallmark of the present administration is prudent management of resources and the quest to reduce the cost of managing the presidency. In line with the change mantra of the present administration, the president recently launched the Change Begins With Me campaign. To back his words with action, the presidency is handing over 2 additional helicopters to the Nigerian Air Force.
This generous gesture by the president was born out of the need to reduce the cost of government.
2 aircraft, 1 AW109 helicopter and 1 King Air Beechcraft had earlier been released to the Nigerian Air Force in 2015.
This, the Nigerian Air Force noted, will boost the air power of the force in its ongoing fight against insurgency in the northeast and militancy in the Niger Delta regions.
One of the helicopters will be configured and be deployed as an air ambulance, while the second helicopter will be configured and deployed as troop carrier.
Similarly, the president has approved the sale of 1 Falcon 7X and a Hawker 4000 aircraft. With this development, the presidential air fleet has been reduced from 10 to 4. Ismail Musa, NT.
The Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Mahmoud Mohammed, is to convene an emergency meeting of the National Judicial Council on Tuesday to comprehensively look into the arrest of justices and judges by the Department of State Services last week. He stated this at a special valedictory court session in Abuja. Aliu Tukur reports.
The Chief Justice of Nigeria described the arrest of judicial officers as an unfortunate and regrettable incident.
I must ask all Nigerians to remain calm and peaceful.
The president of the Nigerian Bar Association, Abubakar Mahmoud, says the bar will support the administration's fight against corruption.
If there are any complaints about the conduct of justices, there are legally laid down procedures of handling these issues.
The valedictory court session is in honor of Justice Suleiman Galadima of the Supreme Court, who hails from Nasarawa State. Justice Galadima joined the services of the judiciary in 1978 as a magistrate.
Every good job deserves commendation, as in the case of judiciary.
He served as Attorney General of Plateau State and later as Chief Judge of Nasarawa State before joining the Apex Court in 2010. In Abuja, Aliu Tukur, NTA News.
And staying with that matter, the All Progressives Congress, APC, is concerned about what it calls the desperation of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, and some of its governors to drag the president into circumstances surrounding the reported raids of the homes of some judges by the Department of State Services. A statement signed by the National Secretary of the party, Maimala Buni, says the Muhammadu Buhari APC-led administration strictly respects the principle of rule of law and adheres to the constitutional provisions of the separation of powers among the 3 arms of government. While the party calls on all security agencies to respect and be guided by the rule of law in carrying out their constitutional duties, the APC finds as curious and suspicious actions of some PDP governors and the unsubstantiated allegations leveled against President Muhammadu Buhari as the architect of the raids. The APC says it will not join issues and matters before the courts because it will be sub judice and advised that they allow judicial processes run their normal and legitimate course. It states that the repeated allegations that ongoing corruption investigations and trials are politically motivated by the president and the APC are baseless. And on another front, the Buhari Media Support Group strongly flays the Nigerian Bar Association for threatening to boycott the courts and issuing a deadline to the DSS for the release of the arrested justices and judges. In a statement by its coordinator, Muhammad Labbu, and Secretary Cassidy Madueke, the group notes that the DSS followed due process and the rule of law in carrying out the arrests, as they had valid and legally issued search warrants. It said the call by the NBA for a state of emergency and the ultimatum to President Buhari to call his security agencies to order does not only tantamount to impeding the anti-graft war of the administration, but also amounts to shielding suspects from facing the law against the ethics and obligation of the legal profession. It added that as a responsible organization, it is expected that the Nigerian Bar Association will be in the forefront of educating Nigerians on the legality and propriety of the DSS action and lend their total support to the reformation and cleansing of the Nigerian judiciary, as it will ultimately serve the good. It notes that since President Buhari was elected with a core mandate to rid Nigeria of corruption, he should be given unalloyed support to succeed, and it commends the DSS for diligently executing their constitutional responsibilities within the ambit of the law. Senate President Bukola Saraki has again expressed the National Assembly's determination to ensure total rehabilitation and reconstruction of internally displaced persons and places affected by communal clashes in Nigeria. Waziri Zayanu reports that the Senate President stated this when he received committee chairmen and secretaries of IDP camps in the FCT.
The Senate President described the Northeast and other humanitarian crises in parts of the country as unfortunate, pointing out, however, that there is great hope for restoration of peace.
What is of very importance to us is that this issue, humanitarian crisis in the IDP camps, we must all as a country see it as not the problem of Borno State or Yobe or Adamawa, but it's a problem of Nigeria.
Spokesman of the displaced persons, Ibrahim Adamu, thanked the Senate for sending a powerful delegation to Maiduguri last year and appealed for more material, financial and legislative support to get back home. In the meantime, Senate Committee on Judiciary has screened 2 nominees sent in by Mr. President for confirmation as justices of the Supreme Court of Nigeria. They are Ejembi Eko and Amina Adamu Augi.
The Supreme Court of Nigeria delivering no more than 200 judgments in a year. The Supreme Court of America does not deliver up to 15 judgments in a year.
The thought of the buck stops with you. You have to now decide. You have to, what you say becomes law. Now all the federal high courts, state high courts, they've been quoting me relying on this.
So we'll now revert to closed session to consider the report.
Meanwhile, Governing Council of the National Institute for Legislative Studies has approved the processing of an amendment bill to change the institute's name. It is to be called National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies. Under a new improved dispensation, its scope for research, training and public education for democracy has been strengthened.
The admission is open to the public. It's not just for the National Assembly staff.
From the National Assembly, Waziri Zayanu, NTA News.
Interested parties in the power sector have assured Nigerians a renewed commitment towards boosting the sector. It was in a business session presided over by Minister of Power, Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola in Sokoto. Mohammed Nasir reports.
Power transmission is said to be in a very challenging period in Nigeria, as it is no longer public service but rather commercial. The Minister of Power, Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, has initiated monthly meeting of all stakeholders in the sector to bring them together to discuss, identify problems and proper solutions.
Perhaps the biggest current challenge in the power sector post-transition is the liquidity problem. But I want to focus on the opportunities that problems present. Problems must not define us. It is our response to problems that should define us.
The 9th meeting of power operators also coincided with the rollout of meter to electricity consumers in Sokoto, which the minister presided over. Sokoto State Governor Amin Waziri Tambol said his administration invests heavily in power sector, saying 172 transformers had been procured and distributed to people, in addition to various partnerships with Kaduna Disco.
We are still working hard by way of extending power supply to various local governments and communities in the state.
Governor Tambol later conducted the minister around the independent power plant being constructed by the Sokoto State Government. In Sokoto, Muhammad Nasir, NTA News.
And you can watch this broadcast live online via the NTA mobile app, which you can download on your Android device at the Google Play Store or at the Apple Store if you use devices with iOS. And still to come, wife of the president warns of fraudsters as kidnappers are in the public eye. The details shortly.
When has it reached this? Much less this. And this. And this. And this. Help reclaim our Commonwealth. Lend your support to the fight against corruption for a better Nigeria.
Once in a generation, a technology emerges that transforms a nation. Close new 4G network is exactly that. It is by far the fastest mobile internet in Nigeria and the first with nationwide coverage. Government institutions and big business will have the tools they need to build the powerhouse of Africa. Small business will be enabled to make the big leap. Medical procedures will be more advanced and your home will become truly smart with our most extensive national optic fiber network linked seamlessly to Glo One submarine cable. It is data speed and capacity beyond imagination. 4G will accelerate Nigeria's progress into the Super League and everyone will see their lives change beyond recognition. The wait is over. Welcome to 4G LTE from Glo. Welcome to the new speed of life.
For quick and easy banking on your mobile, like checking your balance or transferring money, use our mobile banking services today. To find out more, visit us online at ecobank.com. Move on up with EcoBank, the Pan-African bank.
When you think of it, there's no such thing as a right size. There's only the size that's right for you. Our needs are different, so choose the size that suits your needs. Introducing the MTN Extra Value Bundles. Call and data bundle plans designed to suit any size of life. Load 1,000 Naira to get a medium bundle and choose between more of voice or more of data. Whichever you choose, you get amazing extra value. Bundles are also available in large and extra large. Dial *131# to get started.
Today, Ariel will show you how to save more in these tough times.
Wife's powder.
It's pretty good and money's tight.
But Ariel gives better cleaning with less powder.
Impossible.
Come with me.
Spaghetti sauce, chocolate drink.
For these tough stains, I'll need 1, 2. And just 1 handful of Ariel. New Ariel gives better stain removal with less powder.
That's real savings. Ariel removes tough stains better in 1 wash.
Bayes University Abuja offers world-class education, uninterrupted academic session, and promising degrees for a sustainable job. Bayes University Abuja is affordable and delivers quality with experienced international staff, superb facilities, overseas external examiners, and a serene academic atmosphere. We offer quality and affordable education, and students are within easy reach of their parents here at Bayes University Abuja. So learn to live at Bayes University for a brighter future.
Change is here and it's going to stay. Change begins with you. Oh yeah, make we go. Go to so let the change begin from within. Look at you, Ogerula. Change begins with you and me. Change begins with me. Change begins with me. Change begins with
Thanks for staying with us on NTA Network News. The police have paraded 9 suspected kidnappers of the wife of the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Mrs. Margaret Emefiele. Erino Justice reports that about 14.7 million naira was recovered from them. I'm afraid we've lost the sound on that report. We'll try to fix that as we go on in the news. The wife of the president, Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, has criticized the manner in which the forms of interest-free loans for women across the country, which should be obtained free from the Ministry of Women Affairs, have been sold using her name. A statement signed by the Special Assistant Media to the wife of the president, Adebisi Olumide Ajayi, says the forms are being sold between 1,500 naira and 5,000 naira to unsuspecting members of the public, adding that the purpose of the program, which is mainly to assist women, is being defeated, especially for those at the grassroots. She also appealed to those involved to desist from sabotaging the program so that Nigerian women can feel the change mantra. The Senate Committee on National Planning says it will do everything possible to ensure that more funds are released for the Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission to guarantee full implementation of its 2016 budget. The Senate Committee was at the Commission on Oversight Functions as another committee stopped over at the Federal Ministry of Agriculture. National Assembly correspondent Kenneth Nanim reports.
The visit was to ascertain how much the Commission has performed in its 2016 budget. The acting chairman of the Commission, Shetima Omar Abagana, explained that only 50 to 60% of the overhead budget of 350 million naira has been released, while the total capital budget of 90 million naira was released just 2 weeks ago.
If we are asked to monitor especially 5 of the biggest agencies in Nigeria, NNPC, DPR, FRS, Customs and CBN, and the collect revenue around the whole country requires that we really have to be funded properly.
They should do whatever they can to make sure that whatever is being given to the Commission is being utilized.
Both parties agree that adequate collaboration is key towards realizing the Commission's mandate for national development. In a related development, the Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Audubwe, has pointed to delay in the release of funds and the procurement policy as set
is not negotiable.
Political office holders, traditional rulers, opinion leaders, and other stakeholders from northern extraction converged on the auditorium hall of the historic Arewa House, Kaduna, for the summit. A wide range of issues, such as the need for elders in the various ethnic nationalities, bring together that spirit of cohesion and unity.
And I challenge the northern leaders.
In programs offered by the Institute and the Fund. The minister, who was accompanied by the PTDF Executive Secretary Bello Aliu Gusau, also urged them to adopt a maintenance reorientation for the institute to attract scholarship and increase revenue generation.
Federal government is not going to continue to perpetuate just sending you yearly disbursements. It's not going to work. How can you free the federal government of the burden of maintenance? And you start that by first maintaining your own facilities. So we need to begin to look at that very seriously. And I think there's a lot that PCDF could do in terms of taking down their maintenance culture.
To this company in West Africa.
The Executive Director, Business Development Lado, explained that Lado aims is to attract up to $5 billion in investment into Nigeria by building strategic infrastructure which will be completed in the country for the first time. He expressed confidence in the meeting, which he pointed out is a veritable platform for more partnership with Norwegian. He expressed confidence in the meeting, which he pointed out is a veritable platform for more partnership with investors from Norway.
Our whole model is based upon facilitating investment and expansion in yards throughout Nigeria.
Lado, West Africa's free zone and logistics hub for international industrial and offshore company, provides world-class facilities and services including fabrication and assembly yards. In Lagos, Ken Igbeluge, NTA News.
A book that encapsulates the meaning and character of journalism in Africa's greatest country, with attendance, danger, glamour and adventures, has been presented in Lagos. The book, titled One Day a Story, is written by Dari Babarinsa, one of the founders of Tale magazine. Ken Egbeluge again reports.
It was the gathering of who is who in the print media. They were there to celebrate with one of their own. A Day and a Story, reminiscence of an African journalist, opened the window to Nigeria and Africa of the 1980s, when the continent was dominated by strongmen and dictatorial regime. The 256-page book provides a vantage point to observe history in the making with parade of notable characters, including Dele Giwa, Awolowo, Ibrahim Babangida, President Muhammadu Buhari, Nelson Mandela, and many others. The book also defined the early days of the author's career as a journalist.
Many of them who are here will risk everything, risk their life, and I'm here to honor one of the people who did everything to make us get to where we are today, and that is
to enable people reminisce and remember our written path.
The book reviewer, who is also a seasoned journalist, described the book as a perfect work that is intended to tell a great story about outstanding events in the country and Africa.
And one of the things that I find remarkable is that it is not just a collection of stories he had done before, but he was able to put them in the right historical context.
The book is mainly my experience. I believe younger people coming to the profession can learn from it.
The author, a prolific writer hails from Ekiti State, is one of the founders of Tale magazine. In Lagos, Ken Igbeluge, NTA News.
You are watching NTA Network News from Lagos Network Center. More news ahead after this timeout. Stay with us.
10 years ago, Globe predicted that the future lay in data. They laid a dedicated fiber optic ring around the country, seamlessly connecting to cities, suburbs, and towns. They created innovative, flexible, and highly affordable data plans. Then, Glo launched 4G LTE, data so clear and so fast that it will transform the way Nigerians communicate, work, learn, and play. They can listen to millions of music tracks, enjoy thousands of movies, play online video games, and even watch live TV. Their homes have become smart homes. This is the new speed of life.
Enjoy the fastest data speed plus free world-class content at 10 gigabytes for 2,500 naira and 24 gigabytes for 5,000 naira. Available in all Glow World outlets and Glow dealers. Welcome to the new speed of life.
This must be one of Mother Nature's greatest gifts. But there's something else it gives us. When we see such beauty, we want to share it with those we love. That's what LG wants you to see. Just what we see now. through our technology. LG OLED TV.
Floret's chewing gum neutralizes bad odor. It doesn't just disguise them, it gives you real minty breath.
Last drop bottle of Sprite. And there it is. And there. And there. That sudden burst of intense refreshment that just keeps coming. Good job, Sprite.
There is one sound we need to silence. Let's silence today with Oral-B all-round protection. Its advanced technology helps prevent both tooth holes and gum problems, giving them all-round protection for healthier, stronger teeth in 1 week.
Introducing new Dettol multi-surface cleaner for a healthy home. Some cleaners don't kill germs, others kill germs but don't clean properly. New Dettol multi-surface cleaner gives you 10 times better germ kill, 10 times better cleaning, and all-day freshness for a healthy home.
Germs, oil, and dirt cause blemishes and uneven skin tone. You need Dettol Even Tone. It removes 99.9% of germs and is formulated to remove excess oil and dirt, helping to reduce blemishes. New Dettol Even Tone.
The news continues now in Abuja with focus on business. Nigeria's real sector in the spotlight as the Nigerian Economic Summit 2016 opens in Abuja, and the Nigerian Stock Exchange opens the week in the green, appreciating by 0.32%. Details with Leah Katumba Batunde.
Hello and welcome to Business News at 9. As Nigerians both in the public and private sectors turn their attention to the 2016 Nigerian Economic Summit, which is focused on achieving sustainable growth by promoting made-in-Nigeria goods and services, a huge task rests on government, policy makers, experts and stakeholders in various fields to brainstorm and chart a new direction amidst the current socio-economic realities. Experts say the real sector comprising manufacturing, solid minerals, transport and logistics, tourism, hospitality, entertainment, the creativity industry, culture and sports are in need of growth strategy.
We, the elites, we have to change our consumption pattern. We have to love our own. We have to consume what we produce and produce what we consume.
The small and medium enterprises, SMEs, catalyst for driving growth and promoting made-in-Nigeria goods and services, require enabling policies and infrastructure to thrive.
The important thing we're trying to do now is to assess capacity. We don't want a situation whereby we say that so and so has to be made in Nigeria absolutely, and then 2 days or 2 months down the line we don't have enough production capacity.
Experts say government's policies and infrastructural development can bring about ease of doing business for SMEs and improve foreign direct investment into the country. Next is a graphic summary of closing figures from the Nigerian Stock Exchange, where all-share index gained 0.32%. And that's business news for this hour. The bulletin will continue shortly. Thanks for watching.
Thank you, Leah. Let's now go over to our Benin Center, where Agatha will give us information on preparations for a new Oba. Agatha, certainly excitement is in the air. Countdown to the coronation. What's the latest?
Thank you, Cyril. Good evening and welcome to Benin. Adherence to cultural rites is one of the most salient factors in the process that leads to the coronation of a new Oba of Benin. In this report, Ogochukwuka Ona examines the significance of the movements undertaken by the Crown Prince before his final coronation.
Time immemorial, adherence to the customs and tradition of Benin people is a significant aspect of their life that is never toyed with. most importantly, the rites to the coronation of a new Oba. That is why every detail is followed without reservations. The movement of the heir apparent to the throne from his official residence at Uselu, stopping over at some sites and villages for rituals, is primary for the success of the coronation.
If he has not done that, then the coronation will not have been accomplished.
It's culture. It's a thing we have to do. It has already been made. So we Benin, even if you are not a Benin, you need to witness it.
Our Oba is different from every other Oba in Nigeria over the world. So that is an aspect of what is still to happen. The Benins do things according to the tradition. We don't want to leave any stone unturned.
Meantime, Benin is wearing a new look as major areas, including the Oba of Varanwe Square, are adorned in colors synonymous with royalty. In Benin, Ogochkuka Ona, NT News.
Still talking tradition, the story of the survival of the Benin Kingdom cannot be told without mention of Benin chiefs and their diverse roles. Uduako Bonga Chibong spoke with some high-ranking chiefs on their roles against the background of the coronation of a new Oba of Benin taking place a few days from now. Benin Kingdom has a structured administrative system for its day-to-day running, with the Oba as the administrative and spiritual head. They assess the Prime Minister of the Kingdom, a title that is not hereditary. He is in the class of the Havenoi, chosen by the Oba as he pleases. On the Iyase rests the responsibility of defending the kingdom.
Today, we don't fight wars. What we do is try and ensure that our people don't suffer under the economic burdens.
Among the circle of high-ranking chiefs is the Uliha. He is the head of the Uzama, whose business it is to perform the crowning ceremony and proclaim the Daiken in his newly acquired name as the Oba.
Uliha should be crowning the Oba.
Chief David Edebi is the oracle of the kingdom.
The Esogno is the one in charge of the Benin ancestral staff.
There are 4 main royal societies in the palace: Iwebo, Iwegwai, Ibiwe, and Ewaise. They take care of the Oba's household.
Iwegwai consists of the personnel that attends to the Omonoba needs.
No matter their hierarchy or departments, their duties are to ensure a strong and viable kingdom. And that's our package. Cyril is back to you for the rest of the network news.
Thank you, Agatha. Take another quick break for some more messages. Stay with us.
This week on NTA's Tuesday Live is curbing the menace of kidnapping. NTA Tuesday Live, educating, incisive and informative. Don't miss it. Join us.
If we have lost the opportunity of 15 years, let us no longer lose any opportunity for the future. Our alternative is agriculture immediately and solid minerals.
We should be appreciative of the president who has again diverted attention to this issue of agriculture.
The present administration is determined to go back to planning, identify priorities beforehand. When money comes, it is applied to that purpose. And you can see the results.
We are determined to rehabilitate our country, especially for our children and our grandchildren.
Like some water? It's cold, especially for you.
Which era are you living in? We have a fridge.
When everything else in your house is from the present, then why are your toilet cleaning methods from the past? Harpic, all-in-one for you. Compared to other toilet cleaners, Harpic removes top stains, kills all germs, and removes bad odors for a shining, clean, and fresh toilet.
Wow.
You should also take the
Happy all-in-one challenge.
The production, distribution and sale of counterfeit and fake drugs is a corrupt practice and a crime against humanity. This has informed several measures and strategies to combat fake drugs, including introduction of anti-counterfeiting cutting-edge technologies to detect fake drugs on the spot. These technologies are being deployed to all the states across the Federation, as well as the internally displaced people's camps. The President, Muhammadu Buhari, and his team are committed to this fight.
The federal government of Nigeria, in line with its anti-corruption agenda and posture, will fight a total war against fake drugs and other unwholesome regulated products in order to ensure that Nigerians remain healthy and well.
Lend your support and join NAFDAC to rid the country of fake drugs and unwholesome regulated products. NAFDAC, safeguarding the health of the nation.
Now for a quick look at the world scene. Ethiopian Foreign Minister alleges groups in Eritrea and Egypt are behind continued unrest in the country. This and more on Global Tidbits with Gabriel Odu.
The Ethiopian government declared a 6-month state of emergency Sunday following the continued deterioration of peace in the country. The government says groups in Eritrea and Egypt are behind the unrest, though without the support of their home countries. The protest is against, among other issues, government attempt to reallocate land in the Oromo region. In Malawi, rumors about President Peter Mutharika's health are said to be baseless and unfounded, as the president is in excellent good health and carrying out his assignments. Reports also say the president, who spoke at the UN on the 25th of September, has been out of Malawi since then. And from Sweden, reports from the Royal Swedish Academy of Sciences indicate that UK-born Oliver Hart and Ben Holmstrom of Finland have won the Nobel Economics Prize for works on contract theory, which include bankruptcy, legislation, and political constitutions. That's Global Tidbits. Gabriel Udu, NTA News.
Sports now. The official opening ceremony of the Nigerian Army Sports Festival 2016 held Monday in Abuja, with the federal government restating commitment to providing maximum support for the Army in the discharge of its duties. Kenne Imagwadike now tells us more.
The 16th edition of the Nigerian Army